Chevy Rabbit with Alberta Native News and Black Press. I have a question for Duncan. What's the important? Duncan. For the land acknowledgement for your team. How important is it for the land acknowledgement, and what's your perspective on that?
Well, I think that it's important for truth and reconciliation for the Indigenous people and everybody, really. I grew up in Fort Frances, Ontario, and I had a lot of friends that were Native Americans and really close with a lot of those guys, and all great people. I brought the Stanley Cup one time back to Couchiching Native Reserve, and we had a little celebration there, very memorable times. But I just think that we as a nation, for Indigenous people, we have to understand that there's a lot of pain there too that we need to acknowledge, and it's nice to see that ceremony tonight.
Duncan, a couple of milestones for you tonight, your 1200th NHL game and your first goal in an Oilers uniform. This being the first time that you switched teams in your career, how big is it for you personally to get your first goal under your belt with the new club?
Yeah, it was nice. A couple good players there with the assists, so it was pretty special. But just to get the win for sure. Obviously, I don't think it was our best game overall, but good teams find a way to win, and we did that tonight. And just proud and grateful to be a part of this organization. They've been welcoming since day one. This guy was the first guy to give me a call, text, and it's. You always remember things like that, and it just shows the leadership that they got in this room here, and it's just glad to be a part of it.
I have a question for you, Leon, but just to kind of piggyback on that, Duncan, I was in the hallway when you were talking to Leon about the puck, saying from 29 and 97, how cool is it to have those two guys on a milestone puck for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really think too much about milestones, but maybe as you get a little bit older, you kind of appreciate those a bit, but they're pretty good players. I got 2 Hart Trophy winners and with the assists, so it's going to be a special plaque for sure.
Leon, your line mate, Yamamoto, gets on the board for the first time this season. Just talk about how big that is, because the celebration looked pretty big on the bench. You gave him a pretty big tap after the goal. How well does that bode for your club?
Yeah, it's big. He's a big part of our group, and it's tough to see teammates go through slumps like that, if that's what you want to call it. We've all been there. It's tough. He works so hard, each and every day, and lately he's been playing better and better, and he's been getting a few looks, and they're not going in, and it's very easy to get frustrated, right? But he's been sticking with it, so this is awesome for him. It's great to see, and hopefully this opens the floodgates a little bit for him.
Leon, Duncan just acknowledged that maybe it wasn't your best game as a team. You won 2-1 the other night. You're finding different ways to pull out victories. What does that say about this team?
I think it speaks, the depth of our group, that we can win in different ways. We can win on the power play. We can win special teams in general. Our goalie can steal one. Defensemen are chipping in. Our third line has won us games. So there's all types of different ways that we can win a game, and that's a pretty I guess that's a pretty great asset to have in a team.
What do you think of there was a little bit of talk this morning, obviously, Adam Larsson not being here. Now you have a different second pair with Duncan and Cody Ceci, of course. What do you think of the way that they've played here and how they've contributed?
I think they've been great. Obviously, we lost a great human being and a great player in Lars. We all know that. We all miss him, of course, but that's the way hockey works. But we're very lucky and fortunate to have 2 guys that are very solid. I think those 2, they've been great every game since they've been here. So, it's great to see Dunky, get a goal tonight. Obviously, it's his first one here, so that's special to be a part of, and hopefully Cease is getting one soon too.
And after you scored your first goal, you looked up at the video monitor a few times. Did you mean to kind of deflect it that way, or how did that kind of go in?
I'd be lying if I said I'd try to do that. That was very lucky, but I'll take it.
Duncan, this is the first time we've had a chance to talk to you since Kyle Beach did a public interview, identified himself as John Doe. I just wanted to get your reaction if you had a chance to see that interview and just what sentiment you have towards Kyle as a result of that.
Yeah, it was. I watched the interview. It was obviously heartbreaking. You know, it was tough to watch. You feel compassion for Kyle, and you know, it's tough to imagine the pain that he's going through now. Obviously, you know, the courage that he showed in being able to speak about it, and you know, it's just so much admiration for him. And you know, I hope he's able to find some peace if he hasn't already. But you know, just like I said, it was my heart goes out to him.
I know you were asked to be part of the investigation. Were given the option by the PA when they asked you. You decided not to. Can you let us in on your reasons for that? And in hindsight, is that something that you would do differently if you could?
I think for sure. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, it happened. It was a blur. I got a phone call the morning after I was traded, and I don't even really remember the call. I was getting so many calls, and you know, if I could do it over again, I would. There's a lot of emotions going through a trade. You know, I spent 20 years in that organization, and you know, certainly. I was, you know, excited to be an Oiler, but you know, there's still a lot of mixed emotions with a trade, and you know, I guess if I could go back, I would do it. But at the same time, you know, my feeling was that I didn't have anything to give, so I didn't think it would help. But you know, I should have sat there for the interview.